Hello, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. I'm Chancellor Sonos Mraz. In the last episode, we finished Lothering, basically all the quests there, and then came to the camp. Talked with a bunch of our companions, and fully conversed with all of their stuff. I think the only one we did that with was Liliana. Um, mm, I will eventually, continue, come back and talk to most of the companions, but we will do that as time goes. Off screen, I did download the no helmet mod. So helmet's now that, and I also lowered the difficulty to hard because although I know for a fact I can, um, I know for a fact um, I can beat this game on Nightmare. That doesn't seem like it's a problem, even especially with this mod, with the dog. Like that makes it almost definitely I could beat it on Nightmare, but it'll be through a bunch of reloads. We'll die a lot and we'll reload a lot of saves and constantly have to redo sections of the game just because of failing to autosave. I mean, I try to click the button, but sometimes I forget. So now I'll have to do all that over again because the autosaves here is not that great. It tries to autosave for very difficult fights, but not all fights. So I figured I do want to beat this game at a decent pace. So yeah, I figure I'll go to hard. I know for a fact I could do it on, Nightmare. In Mass Effect, I definitely believe I could have beaten both Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 on Insanity. But I didn't want to suffer throughout the playthrough. Although some hard difficulties are just, they're like, okay, that's how the game, in my opinion, should be played. Another game, some are just like, it's a challenge. So, yeah. This is the map. We're now officially in the game. Lothering was kind of a tutorial area where it's like, oh, you could craft potions. By the way, you could craft potions. By the way, you could craft poison. By the way, you could craft traps. Oh, and also, this is how side quests are done. You pick them up here, and then you go to a person to get the reward. Yada yada yada. Oh, this is how persuasion works. There's morality, air quote, in like choosing this person over that person, and whatnot. Got our companions, and now this is the game. We have 4 avenues right now. Going to Redcliffe to get Arl Eamon's aid. Going to the Brazilian outskirts to get the elves' aid. Going to Lake Calenhad to get to the circle to get the mage's aid, or going to the Frostback Mountains to go inside to get the dwarves' aid. There's also these 2 DLC things. Just basically DLC stuff. Usually when I play this game, I go straight to the DLC stuff and get those out of the way. Well, actually, no. Normally I would go to the locations that have companions, get them, then start doing the DLC stuff. Because like Dragon Age, I generally would pick a crew, and like that's my crew, and that's how I run the game with. Also, this game has random encounters while traveling. It's not guaranteed that every time you travel. Some of them are scripted, some of them are not. So sometimes, you'll encounter enemies. Sometimes you'll encounter a merchant. Sometimes you'll encounter wolves or darkspawn.
With Orzammar closed off, Old Tegra can give you a discount. Fine weapon and arms, dwarven made.
Dwarven crafts, fine dwarven
There's
crafts.
2 things I mean.
Direct from Urzammar.
Travel or trade. Understand?
See this discount of yours. Tome of Skill and Sundry. Painting of a Rebel Queen. Silver Sword of Mercy. Blue Satin Boots. I really want that book, but I don't have the coin for it, and I don't believe... Unless I sold the Reaper's Cludge. Or Cudgel. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. I mean, I totally can. Like, look at it. All it does is just increase damage by 4. Actually, no, that would make it damage 12, technically, right? Because I think it's after the fact, not before the fact. But it requires 32 strength and does less, well, more, but less damage than what I have right now. Increases strength. So technically this... I don't want to sell it, but I also want a lot of coins so that I could buy stuff. It is the same thing with this. This is kind of garbage. It's like it's equal to this, but costs more, but it requires way more to use. Oh my. Oh. Whatever. No, fuck it. I'll sell the bulwark of. Oh, I know it's a tier 5 weapon. I don't know how that changes things. Oh, fuck it. I'll sell the bulwark of True King so we don't have too much gold. That, like, breaks our economy. Get this Tome of Skills and Surgery. Mostly because I actually should have been using this. It gives me a skill points that I could point into expert combat training. I actually should use the other one too to also give us the coercion. That then we could focus on the other stuff. I'm not really sure what I would focus on though, but probably trap making, even though I don't think, or I'll probably just put poison making so I actually use bombs and stuff. Makes the most logical sense. Because we ain't gonna need to use bombs. Redcliffe.
Look, can we talk for a moment? I need to tell you something. I should probably have told you earlier.
It's on your mind.
Well, let's see. How do I tell you this? We're almost at Redcliffe. Did I say how I know Arl Eamon exactly?
You said he raised you.
I'm a bastard. My mother was a serving girl at Redcliffe Castle, and she died when I was born. Arl Eamon took me in and raised me before I was sent to the Chantry. Oof. The reason he did that was because, well, because my father was King Marek, which made Kaelin my half-brother.
Which makes you heir to the throne. So you're not just a bastard, but a royal bastard.
Ha! Yes, I guess it does at that. I should use that line more often. I would have told you, but it never really meant anything to me. I was inconvenient, a possible threat to Kaelin's rule, and so they kept me secret. I'd never talked about it to anyone. Everyone who knew either resented me for it or they coddled me. Even Duncan kept me out of the fighting because of it. I didn't want you to know as long as possible. I'm sorry.
Surprise. Does Logain know?
Why wouldn't he? He was King Marek's best friend. I don't know if that means anything, though. I certainly never considered the idea that it might ever be important. Arl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, despite all the problems it caused with the king so soon after the war. He loved her a great deal. Anyway, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as the Arl's bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
What see you next Tuesday. Did she know the truth about you?
She may have, but I think it's more likely that she feared the rumors might be true. I can't blame her for that. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall, and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
You were young.
And raised by dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that, I don't know. All I know is that the Arl is a good man and well-loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. So there you have it. Now can we move on? And I'll just pretend you still think I'm some nobody who was too lucky to die with the rest of the Grey Wardens.
And what does that make me?
Some nobody who was too lucky to die with the rest of the Grey Wardens. Welcome to the club.
Okay. So yeah, Alistair is in fact heir to the throne.
I thought I saw travelers coming down the road, though I scarcely believed it. Have you come to help us?
On important business to see Arl Eamon.
The Arl? Then you don't know? Has nobody out there heard?
What are you talking about? Heard what? I've heard Arl Eamon's sick, if that's what you mean.
He could be dead for all we know. Nobody's heard from the castle in days. We're under attack. Monsters come out of the castle every night and attack us until dawn. Everyone's been fighting and dying.
Apparently everyone seems to agree that a blight is the perfect time to start killing each other. Marvelous, really.
We've no army to defend us. No Arl and no king to send us help. So many are dead. And those left are terrified they're next.
Hold on, what is this evil that's attacking you?
I don't rightly know. I'm sorry, nobody does. I should take you to Ban Tegan. He's all that's holding us together. He'll want to see you.
Ban Tegan, Arl Eamon's brother. He's here.
Yes. It's not far, if you'll come with me.
Ban Tegan. This location's in Dragon Age Inquisition, so we get to see the comparison between the two.
It's Thomas, yes? And who are these people with you? They are obviously not simple travelers.
No, my lord. They just arrived, and I thought you would want to see them.
Well done, Thomas. Greetings, friends. My name is Tegan, Ban of Rainersphere, brother to the Arl.
I remember you, Ban Tegan. Though the last time we met, I was a lot younger and covered in mud.
Covered in mud? Alistair? It is you, isn't it? You're alive! This is wonderful news.
Still alive, yes. Though not for long if Tern Loghain has anything to say about it.
Indeed. Loghain would have us believe all Grey Wardens died along with my nephew, amongst other things.
Nephew? Right, Arl Eamon and what's-his-face were brothers. Well, I mean, that would also make him brother. Part of that brother. You don't believe Loghain's lies?
What, that he pulled his men in order to save them? That Kaelin risked everything in the name of glory? Hardly. Loghain calls the Grey Wardens traitors, murderers of the king. I don't believe it. It is an act of a desperate man. So, you are a Grey Warden as well? Is it possible
he was at
met?
He was
you
at dinner.
Very familiar.
You might have known my father, Tern Kuzlin.
Ah, yes, that's it, exactly. A pleasure to meet you indeed, though I wish it were under better circumstances. You're here to see my brother? Unfortunately, that might be a problem. Eamon is gravely ill. No one has heard from the castle in days. No guards patrol the walls, and no one has responded to my shouts. The attack started a few nights ago. Evil things surged from the castle. We drove them back, but many perished during the assault.
What evil things are you talking about?
Some call them the Walking Dead, decomposing corpses returning to life with a hunger for human flesh. They hit again the next night. Each night they come, with greater numbers. With Kaelin dead and Loghain starting a war over the throne, no one responds to my urgent calls for help. I have a feeling tonight's assault will be the worst yet. Alistair, I hate to ask, but I desperately need the help of you and your friends.
It isn't just up to me. Though the Grey Wardens don't stand much chance against Loghain without Arl Eamon.
Of course I will help.
How pointless to help these villagers fight an impossible battle. One would think we had enough to contend with elsewhere.
Thank you. Thank you. This means more to me than you can guess. Thomas, please tell Murdoch what transpired. Then return to your post.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, there is much to do before night falls. I put 2 men in charge of the defense outside. Murdoch, the village mayor, is outside the chantry. Sir Perth, one of Eamon's knights, is just up the cliff at the windmill, watching the castle. You may discuss with them the preparations for the coming battle.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, there's like multiple ways to prepare for this battle, and they're all kinds of different ways. And there's like not an achievement. There's no like achievements for this, but there is a reward if you manage to survive the battle with no casualties, which is actually pretty hard to do. So and also if you leave, by the way, if you leave Redcliffe now that we're in Redcliffe, if we leave Redcliffe and come back, the battle will happen without us, and the worst possible scenario will happen where like people are dead, I think the village is just wiped out or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I did a evil playthrough where I just purposely let the village die. Like, even if you're playing a bad playthrough, doing the village is vital simply due to the fact that you get quest rewards, experience, sovereigns, and the likes. So you just it's, yes, you get to skip the whole battle for Redcliffe village. You get to skip that whole thing, go straight to the secondary part of this quest line, which is going inside the castle and trying to find Arl Eamon himself. However, you lose so much more, and yeah. Basically, if you're trying to speedrun the game, you could totally just leave the village now and come back and then be like, alright, to Arl Eamon. Anyways, tell me more about yourself.
This is hardly the time to be discussing personal details, don't you think? We will have to fight for our lives very shortly.
Come on now. Is knowing a little about you too much to ask?
I beg your pardon, my lady. Where are my manners? What would you like to know?
Well, what will you do if Arl Eamon is dead?
I don't know. If Connor lives, he'll be the Arl, and I'll need to help him with it. If he's... well, I don't want to think about that.
Why have you stayed? Why didn't you just leave?
After the first attack, I wanted to go for help, but I couldn't just leave these people. The Bannon gear up to battle Loghain, while Darkspawn loom to the south. Loghain won't send anyone, so Redcliffe is on its own.
Are you a skilled warrior?
Skilled enough to know there are many far better than myself.
Do you have any family yourself?
Oh, you mean, am I married? No, I've never had the pleasure. If I did, I'd be lucky to find a woman as lovely as yourself.
Flatterer.
If I may be so bold, what of you, my lady? Are you married?
Neither married nor interested. No, I'm not.
I find that hard to believe. Surely that is a crime somewhere. But I am too bold, my lady. This is hardly the time for such banter. Please accept my apology.
In fact, you're not bold enough, my lord. For what, I am not offended.
You're too kind, my lady. Amongst many other things.
Perhaps we should get back to the matter at hand.
Good, then my secrets are still safe. I was worried for a moment there.
You have some of Arl Eamon's knights here?
I have those few who returned from their quest. You know of this, yes?
The search for the Urn of Sacred Ashes.
Yes,
Ashes.
I question Isolde's decision to send so many knights in search of this relic. But I am a practical man, whereas she is a woman of great faith. Sir Perth was one of the knights sent on this quest. Perhaps you should speak to him if you wish to learn more.
Why in the chantry with the villagers?
Sir Perth insists. He wants me to be with the villagers, so everyone he needs to protect is in one place. I don't mind, to be honest. The point of all this is to protect the villagers, and I can do that best here. This is the last line of defense, should things go amiss.
One fellow cowardly. Do you need more men in here with you?
We could bring some men in to stand beside me, but I'd rather keep the monsters away from the villagers if possible.
So what happens after this battle's over?
Hopefully we can find the source and stop it before it causes any more damage. With luck, we'll also find Eamon and be able to help him.
What exactly are these things that attack the village?
I do not know. They seem to be walking corpses, men with rotting flesh that continue to attack even with the gravest injuries.
Undead, spirits possessing the dead. There could be several causes behind such a thing, none of them pleasant.
Should get back
Very
to
well.
work.
Luck be with you, my friend.
Okay. So, oh, yeah, Morgan will disapprove of a lot of things. Basically, unless you're doing selfish things, she disapproves. Even then, like, she usually only just, whatever. She'll be like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like this. Basically, if you're a goody two-shoes, she's like, I disapprove.
Let us pray.
Although,
Blessed art thou who exists in the Maker's sight. Blessed art thou who seeks his
fear
forgiveness.
most for the children.
Blessed art thou. You are a stranger amongst us, yet you still agree to defend our village in its darkest hour. We are most grateful to you.
I kind of stand by while monster attack the helpless.
Not many in these modern days would honestly say the same. You are a woman of worth, and the Maker will smile upon you. Allow me to introduce myself. I am revered Mother Hannah, head of this chantry, which for the moment is a place of refuge for these poor villagers.
How awful this must be for you all. Is this everyone who's left?
All those who cannot defend themselves, yes. They are terrified of tonight's attack, and I fear these walls will not keep them safe. What can I do to help with your task?
Just how safe is the chantry?
It is the sturdiest building in the village. The women, elderly, and children will stay here during the battle, while the militia and knights protect them. They set up a barricade outside the chantry to keep monsters from getting inside. If anything gets in, Ban Tegan is our only defense. Please, have mercy. Help these people. Do whatever you can.
I'd like a blessing, Mother.
Of course, child. Blessed art thou who exists in the Maker's sight. Blessed art thou who seeks his forgiveness. Blessed art thou who seeks his return. Blessed is the prophetess, his daughter, sacrificed to the holy flame. May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition.
So, the Maker's a weird place in this game.
Mother.
Mostly,
When are the bad men coming?
mostly due to the
Soon,
fact that
darling. Don't
it,
worry.
it's a
Everything will be
truthful
alright.
tale, but so many people, because of the chantry itself being pretty zealot,
I
like,
already told you.
I forgot the word,
Father is
being a bunch of
outside,
zealots
defending the
essentially.
village from the bad men.
It's kind of like a
We
lot of
must
people
stay here
don't
and be
like
brave. Can you do that?
the
I
Why